Blood runs through the streets of Chicago, and power is the only currency. But when the crown is up for grabs, betrayal waits in every shadow. This isn't just a fight for survival, it's a war for control. And at the center of it all stands Tommy Egan, a man with nothing left to lose and everything left to take. Chicago doesn't sleep. Not when money moves through the alleys and bullets echo in the night. The city is alive, breathing in secrets and spitting out enemies. And in that storm, Tommy Egan walks back into the game with fire in his eyes. He came to the city looking for a new start, but the streets don't forgive. And they don't forget. Tommy's name already whispers across corners, through gang hideouts and bars where blood and business mix. Some fear him. Others want him gone. But all of them know one truth: Tommy doesn't bow to anyone. He's the kind of man who makes his own rules, and when rules are broken, he answers with violence. This season opens with Tommy staring at the city skyline, the weight of his past pressing down, but the hunger for control burning hotter. His old enemies are gone, but new threats rise fast. Gangs are shifting, alliances are cracking, and the people he thought he could trust are playing their own games. And Tommy? He's ready for all of it, but the game has changed. The streets aren't just divided, they're boiling, waiting to explode. Rivals rise from every direction. One wrong step could mean the end. Still, Tommy doesn't step back. He drives. Forward, faster, louder, with the city's chaos following behind him like fire chasing gasoline. But this season isn't only about war, it's about trust. And in Tommy's world, trust is the rarest weapon of all. Friends might turn to snakes. Allies could become enemies. And every move is a gamble where the prize isn't money or even respect, it's survival. And in that survival, Tommy is willing to do whatever it takes. His story is one of blood, power, and revenge. And in this season's opening, the first shot has already been fired. The city doesn't just watch Tommy, it pushes back. Chicago is a beast, and every beast defends its territory. As Tommy makes his first moves, rival crews sharpen their knives, waiting for the moment to bleed him out. This isn't a city where you can walk in and take what you want without paying the price. Every street corner belongs to someone. Every block has been built with blood. And now, Tommy is stepping into the fire. The whispers begin in the backrooms of clubs and the dark basements where power is traded like drugs. They speak his name with hate and fear. Tommy Egan. Some call him reckless. Others call him unstoppable. But they all agree on one thing: he's dangerous. Dangerous enough to change the balance of the entire city. The first strike doesn't come from the front. It never does. It comes in silence in the middle of the night. A deal that should have been clean turns dirty in seconds. Guns drawn, shots fired, blood staining the floor. Tommy sees it for what it is: a message. They're not going to welcome him in. They're going to test him, break him, and if they can, bury him. But Tommy isn't the kind of man who runs from a fight. No, he's the one who brings the fight to your doorstep. When the streets hit him, he hits back harder. This season shows Tommy unleashing a storm no one expected. He's not just playing for money. He's not just chasing control. He's sending a message of his own, that Chicago belongs to him, and anyone who stands in his way will be crushed under his boots. Yet, even as the bullets fly and the enemies rise, there's a deeper war building one inside the walls of loyalty. Tommy has allies, but for how long? Every smile hides a knife. Every handshake covers a lie. The streets are teaching him fast. Trust no one. The same people who drink at your table will plan your death in the shadows. This is where the season sharpens. Tommy knows he can't win this war with fists alone. He needs strategy, he needs eyes everywhere, and most of all he needs to keep his enemies guessing. And he does it the only way he knows how, by turning chaos into his weapon. The louder, the messier, the deadlier the game becomes, the more it bends to his will, but chaos cuts both ways. For every move Tommy makes, the city answers. Rivals don't just come after him, they come after his people. Family, allies, anyone close enough to hurt. The war is no longer just about him. It's about everyone who dares to stand beside him. And that's when the question becomes clear. How much blood will Tommy spill to hold on to power? And how much will he lose before he finally owns the streets? Chicago is alive, roaring with anger, fire, and greed. The beast has noticed Tommy, and it's striking back with everything it has. But in the middle of that chaos, in the smoke and the fire, Tommy Egan doesn't break. He smiles because this isn't just war to him, it's destiny. And destiny always leaves a trail of bodies behind. Asterisk in Chicago, enemies don't always wear masks. Sometimes they sit across from you at the table, smiling, nodding, shaking your hand while plotting your fall. For Tommy, the streets are filled with snakes. And in this new season, betrayal isn't just coming, it's already here. The first signs are quiet. A shipment that never makes it to its buyer. A message lost in the shuffle. A deal that feels just a little too easy. Tommy has lived long enough to know that coincidences don't exist in this life. Somebody is moving against him, and they're close, too close. He starts to look at his crew differently. Every glance feels heavier. Every pause in a conversation feels like a secret waiting to explode. The truth is, the deeper Tommy climbs into Chicago's power structure, the more enemies he collects. But the most dangerous enemy is always the one standing right beside you, and then the cracks break open. A trusted ally vanishes on the night of a crucial deal. Money goes missing. Guns end up in the wrong hands. And when the smoke clears, Tommy finds out the truth. Someone he trusted has been feeding his rivals, selling him out piece by piece. The betrayal cuts deeper than a bullet. Because in Tommy's world, loyalty is everything. It's the only currency that matters more than power, more than money. And when someone breaks that loyalty, it's not just a betrayal, it's a death sentence. But Tommy isn't blinded by rage, he's sharpened by it. He doesn't just want revenge. He wants to send a message so loud that the entire city hears it. He sets the trap. He waits in the shadows, patient as the streets breathe against him. And when the traitor finally steps into the light, Tommy doesn't hesitate. The season shows him at his most ruthless, not just taking lives, but reshaping the game itself. Still, betrayal has a price, and it doesn't end with a single body. Once blood is spilled, more will follow. Killing one traitor doesn't erase the doubt in everyone else's mind. The paranoia spreads. Who else is playing both sides? Who else is ready to sell him out for the right price? In this world, once trust is broken, it can never be put back together. And so Tommy is forced into a dangerous corner. To keep control, he has to become colder, harder, more brutal than ever before. Friends turn into pawns. Allies become suspects. He can't afford to show weakness, not for a second. Because the moment he does, someone will strike, and this time, they won't miss. But here's the twist. Betrayal doesn't only come from the crew. It comes from the top, from the people, pulling strings far above the streets. Politicians, businessmen, even law enforcement, people who wear suits by day and trade blood by night. Tommy thought he was fighting gangsters and crews, but the truth is bigger. The city itself is corrupt, and the power he's chasing comes with invisible chains. And this season, those chains are tightening around his neck. The betrayal in the shadows is more than personal. It's a war that's going to test Tommy in ways he's never faced before. Because in Chicago, loyalty dies quick, and once it's gone, the only thing left is survival. And survival has a price. Asterisk, the streets of Chicago have always been violent. But this season they erupt into something far more brutal, a battlefield where no one is safe. When betrayal burns away the last traces of trust, war is the only path left, and Tommy, he doesn't just enter the war, he declares it. It begins with silence. The kind of silence that hangs before a storm tears everything apart. Cars wait. In alleys, weapons are loaded in dark rooms. Every crew sharpens its blades, knowing that the first move will decide everything. And in the center of it all, Tommy Egan steps forward. He doesn't hide, he doesn't retreat. He stares into the fire and dares the city to burn with him. Then the storm breaks. Bullets rain down across blocks, echoing off the walls like thunder. Explosions tear through safe houses, cars flip and burn in the night. The war spills into every corner of the city, clubs, warehouses, even the streets where families live. Chicago is no longer just a city. It's a war zone. And at the heart of it all, Tommy is carving his empire with fire and steel. But the war isn't only about violence. It's about choices. For every life Tommy takes, he risks losing someone close to him. For every victory he claims, the cost grows heavier. The line between winning and destroying himself blurs until it's almost invisible. The season pulls him deeper into the chaos, forcing him to decide what kind of king he wants to be, one who rules through fear, or one who loses everything trying to hold on to loyalty. Still, the streets don't wait for him to decide. The enemies are relentless, and they come with more force than ever before. Gangs unite against him. Old rivals rise from the ashes, stronger and more ruthless. And hidden above it all, powerful figures pull strings, watching, waiting, ready to strike when he's most vulnerable. Tommy is fighting on all sides, and the war is closing in fast. Yet even in the darkest moment, when the fire threatens to consume him, Tommy's spirit doesn't break. He thrives in the chaos. He turns the city's rage into his weapon. Every trap set against him, he flips. Every attempt to corner him, he explodes through. He's not just surviving anymore, he's rewriting the rules, forcing everyone to play his game, but destiny never comes without a price. And this season, the price is staggering. Friends fall. Enemies rise. Blood coats the streets until even Tommy can't tell the difference between victory and destruction. The war ends not with peace, but with a question: who will stand when the smoke clears? And who will be left in the ashes? The final moments strike like lightning. A figure steps from the shadows, gun raised, eyes locked on Tommy. A voice cuts through the silence, heavy, final. Your time is up. The screen goes black. The city holds its breath, because in this war, survival isn't promised. And the only certainty left is that nothing will ever be the same again. Asterisk, when the smoke clears and the fire fades, the city is left in ruins. But the war isn't over. Chicago breathes heavy, wounded but alive, and its streets whisper a single name: Tommy Egan. He came here to build an empire, but what he's unleashed is far greater than power. He's woken something inside the city, something that can't be silenced with money or fear. Now, every survivor stares at him differently. To some, he's a king. To others, he's a monster. But whether loved or hated, he cannot be ignored. Tommy is no longer just another player. He is the storm, the fire, the force that rewrites the game. And the city will never be the same, but the reckoning is not finished. The betrayal, the war, the endless blood, it all points to something bigger, something waiting in the shadows. A final enemy who has yet to reveal themselves. Someone who knows Tommy's every move, every weakness, every secret. And when they strike, it won't just be for control of the streets. It will be for his soul. The season closes with one truth. Carved in steel, in Chicago, power never comes free. Every throne is built on bones, and every crown drips with blood. Tommy wanted the city. Now, the city wants him back, in chains or in a coffin. The screen fades to black, the music drops, and a single voice cuts through the silence. Tommy's voice, calm, ruthless, unshaken. You think you can stop me? Try. A gunshot echoes. Then the words hit the screen in bold. PowerBook IV. Force Season 3 coming soon.